Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It is time for the February announcements from Vinegar Syndrome, and there are many partner labels. We've got a whole bunch of announced titles, the majority of which I've never heard of before, but I'm always excited to see what Vinegar Syndrome and their labels have to offer. So I'm going to dive into these announcements, have a look at them, see what they have to offer. Some of the titles I know a little bit about, some of them I don't, which is where I'm relying on you, fantastically knowledgeable people, to educate me. Let me know what titles are worth highlighting and which are not, and let other people know in the comment box below. So let's dive in to the first title from the subscription package this month. Their standard releases is Beware, Children at Play. Now, this is a trauma movie. Take from that what you will. This is all about young Glenn and his father have gone into the woods for a fun-filled camping adventure. But when Dad steps into a bear trap, the pair find themselves stranded miles from civilization, with limited supplies and nothing to eat. After his dad dies, Glenn, as a matter of survival, is forced to consume his flesh. Years later, children from a nearby town, probably Traumasville, begin to disappear into the woods, never to be seen again, while adults are murdered in the most savage of fashions. Now, this is a region-free Blu-ray, newly scanned and restored in 2K from its OCN, brand new commentary track with the director, Why I Don't Have Children, a making-of documentary, a brand new interview with the director, archival interview with the director. Now, looking at the trailer, looks a little bit odd, a little bit unusual, not one that really enthuses or excites me as a subscriber for Vinegar Syndrome, one that I will watch, of course, because I'm getting it. Could this be something that falls into collecting 2.0 and gets immediately moved on? I guess we'll find out and see. Next up, we have Sister, which, looking at the titles, looks as if it could be something that's really interesting and kind of up my street. Protective and aloof Charlotte, along with her childlike and innocent sister Lucy, operate their secluded country mansion as a bed and breakfast. On a cold and rainy night, Matt, a mysterious and handsome man from the city, arrives unexpectedly to rent a room, and soon after taking a fancy to Lucy. As their romance grows, mysterious acts of violence begin to plague their quiet home. Directed by Bill Condon, starring Alex Stoltz, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Dennis Lipscomb, Judith Ivey. Wow. This looks a kind of psychological thriller looking at the trailer. It's from 1987. It's 90 minutes. To be honest, there's nothing about that that doesn't sound as if it's off-putting. It all sounds great. I can't wait to kind of consume this one. It's a region-free Blu-ray, restored from 2K, commentary track with director Bill Condon, commentary track with the author and critic Alexandra Heller Nicholas, Being an Outsider, an interview with actor Benjamin Mouton, Staying Honest, interview with actress Natalia Nogulich, Orchestrating Alter States, interview with composer Richard Einhorn, Going to War, interview with cinematographer Stephen Katz, deleted scene with director commentary, a 12-page booklet essay by film programmer historian Christina Cacciapo. Reversible colour art. I'm all in for this. This may be the first movie that I throw on when it comes in through the door. It just looks pretty good. It sounds pretty awesome, and I love the talent behind it. Next up, we have Drop Dead Fred. One of the titles I know about, one of the titles I love. I love Drop Dead Fred. I think it's a great movie, really off-kilter, weird children's movie of sorts. Elizabeth's life is in a shambles. Her husband's just dumped her for another woman. Her car's been stolen, which causes her to arrive late for work and to get fired. And her overbearing mother has convinced her to move back home. One night, when she can't sleep, Elizabeth happens upon the small box which housed her childhood imaginary friend, Drop Dead Fred, who used to call all kinds of mischief. Yeah. managed to see this in the cinema when it came out. I've always had an affinity from it. It's a movie that's just odd, tonally strange and weird. I'm all over this. I can't wait to get it. I just wish it was either a VSU or a 4K disc, because this is one that's definitely going to polarize a lot of people. I think it's immense fun. It's a Region A only Blu-ray, new scan 2K restoration, commentary track with director 8 De Jong, conversation with director and producer, imaginary friends, a featurette with co-writers and executive producers, the Mega Beast Speaks Out, interview with actress Marsha Mason, Drop Dead Look, interview with director of photography, Mischief Makers, featurette with VFX producers and supervisors, I'm Your Fella Annabella, interview with Tim Matheson, Memories of Snotface, interview with actress Ashley Peldon, deleted scenes, theatrical trailer, 8-page booklet with a text interview with actress Phoebe Cates, and reversible cover art. Yeah, this one is not going to excite a lot of people, but for me, it is something I am super excited to get. Being a subscriber, I'm going to get it anyway. Can't wait to watch it again. I watched it a year or two ago where I did a review for the channel. You can check out my thoughts then, and you'll get a fresh review when the disc arrives. Now on to the VSA Vinegar Syndrome Archive number 20, I believe. This is Wolfpack, which, let's just have a quick look at the synopsis. High school student Sam has just moved to a new house in a sleepy all-American town. His new school seems perfect at first, and he's quickly accepted onto the football team. But something about his fellow players seem a little bit off, particularly the brutish and arrogant Jack Butowski. And Sam soon discovers the team have appointed themselves as dictatorial leaders of the school, openly modelling their behaviour on the SS and terrorising anyone who doesn't fall in line. Can't seem to find too much about this online. I found a VHS rip. I kind of scrubbed through it just to have a look. Again, not overly excited about this one, but the VSA range is one that can go either way. It's been a while since I've had a proper turkey. Maybe this will be the one that does that. It came out in 1987, 84 minutes, so it should be a quick watch. It's a region-free Blu-ray, 2K restoration, interview with director and co-writer Bill Milling, return to the Wolf's Den, locations of Wolfpack, double-sided poster, reversible cover art. I'm probably going to pick this up simply because I get most of the VSAs. I've not got high hopes for this one though, so I guess we'll see. If you've seen this or know anything of it, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Next up, we have The American Scream from Culture Shock. Now, this is Meet the Basingers. They're the average American family, two unruly teenagers, a stressed-out father, and a cloying mother. They're taking the classic American Christmas vacation at the perfect mountain resort. But the strange residents of Wilson Creek have something else planned, something gruesome. This family trip will be a trip to hell, and no one will ever be the same again. Region-free Blu-ray, introduction to the film by the director, feature-length commentary, restored promotional teaser for foreign film markets, real collection with Edward Beasley podcast episode, The Making of American Scream. I am interested in this one. Now, I'm going to wait for reviews. It looks and sounds a little bit like the Griswolds get murdered by yokels. It sounds pretty good. I couldn't find a real good trailer for this or anything to have a quick look at it. I found a VHS rip on YouTube. I had a quick scrub through it again. I'm going to wait for the reviews on this one, but it's one that I'm somewhat curious about. Next up, from the Fun City Editions, a label that has become synonymous with great films. I've never discovered anything that I haven't really enjoyed from them, often loving a lot of what they produce. And this is the first one that I have absolutely zero interest in that they have announced. It's their 10th release, and I guess it shows the power of the company that I'm willing to take a chance on this because they haven't let me down as yet. I won't run through the synopsis of this one too much, just that it's based on an erotic 19th century poetry. The film script was co-written by filmmaker and novelist Catherine Breillat, and spending the summer in the French countryside with elegant and beautiful family friend Barbara, young Bilitis comes of age and learns valuable, if sometimes painful, lessons about intimacy, romance, and love. Region-free Blu-ray is a 4K restoration from the OCN, video interview with camera operative, newly recorded commentary by historians Alexandra Heller-Nichols and Joss Nelson, and a booklet by Sam Deegan. I'm going to get it because of the label, because of the trust that they've built up, and I'm willing to go that little bit. And of course, I got a discount being a subscriber, which knocks it down to $20. But I just don't know about this one at all. Next up, we have a new movie, Blood on Her Name by Yellow Veil. A woman's panicked decision to cover up an accidental killing spirals out of control when her conscience demands she returns the dead man's body to his family. It's a Region A Blu-ray, commentary with the crew, commentary with cast and crew, proof of concept, cast and crew in conversation, theatrical and teaser trailers, essay by senior critic Walter Shaw, and reversible cover art. Now, this stars Bethany Ann Lind, Will Patton. The trailer looks great. It looks like a movie that I would love to see. It looks like a great performance by the lead actress as a woman who defends herself, kills someone by mistake, and then covers up the murder and ultimately has her conscience eating away at her. Check out the trailer. It looks amazing. Again, I'm going to wait for reviews on this one. If I can get it on a streaming service, I may just watch it there first. Next up, we have Kane and Abel from 1982, I believe. Firstborn Lawrence toils the land by buffalo while Ellis, the apple of his mother's eye, is given a university education in Manila. When the latter returns to the family's hacienda with a metropolitan fiancé in tow, the domineering Senor Pina immediately disapproves. So I don't know much about this. I struggled to find much information online about it. I couldn't even find a trailer or any video clips whatsoever. It's a region-free Blu-ray, Kane and Abel, An Appreciation, a new featurette. It's got an interview with Carmi Martin, interview with Christopher DeLon, booklet including Uprighteous Kin, new writing on Kane and Abel by Jose B. Capino. I know very little. I will wait for reviews and see what they say about that. Next up, we have the rather crazy-looking Romanian animated movie Delta Space Mission, released by Deaf Crocodile. Imagine an early 80s Eastern European space prog album high on sugary breakfast cereal, heavy metal magazine, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and 8-bit arcade games like Galaxian and Asteroids. And you've got some idea of the otherworldly weirdness of the Romanian animated sci-fi film Delta Space Mission. It's got a new 4K scan. It has new interview with co-director, 2 new restored episodes from the short film series, a new commentary track by Kat Ellinger, a new booklet essay by comic artist, editor, and publisher. This is from 1984. Again, what a weird and unusual kind of movie for them to dig up. It has kind of Forbidden Planet inklings about it. It looks kind of familiar, but at the same time, a little bit weird and different. I like the look of the trailer, but again, this is one that I need to see reviews. I need to understand what people are thinking about this one before I even jump on it. A little bit of a weird oddity. Next up, we've got Ham and Rye by Factory 25. This is a new release. Ham and Rye is the coming in age centered on the nervous excitement of youth and the strange horror of entering adulthood. Uses an expansive ensemble of over 100 performers, including non-actors, musicians. Okay, so this 2020 movie looks really kind of funny and quirky and odd, but again, it's such an unknown quantity. I did like Donnie's Bar Mitzvah, but this looks like a more realised and stripped back version of that, not as chaotic or wild or as abstract as that. It does look funny. It has a kind of feeling of an updated Slacker about it, which really does make me a little bit curious. It's a region-free Blu-ray, exclusive director's cut on the Blu-ray, commentator with the director, and deleted scenes, the making of, original trailer, and essays by the director and cinematographer. Again, curious, not going to initially get it. I want to see more reviews on it and see what the consensus is first on this one. Next up, we've got Hypnosis, a Russian mind trip of a movie. In snow-drenched Moscow, Misha wakes up each night and sleepwalks right out of his apartment. Running out of options to cure him, his parents decide to try hypnosis with a renowned psychotherapist, Dr. Volkov. This looks like a real kind of mind trip, and I kind of like the idea of it. It looks fantastic. It's a region-free Blu-ray, US trailer. It's got some other trailers, but it's a stripped-back disc. It's basically just a movie. This might be a sale purchase further down the line. It looks kind of trippy. You're never quite sure who's in full control here, whether it's the doctor, whether it's a young boy that's been hypnotized or supposedly trying to be hypnotized. And it looks like a kind of fun, twisting thriller movie. But yeah, interesting enough. Next up, we have I Don't Care If You Go Down in History as Barbarians. Got a wonderful cover here made up of gun art almost. The film chronicles a young theatre director's efforts to stage an accurate reenactment of the Odessa massacre, in which Romanian soldiers slaughtered tens of thousands of Ukrainian Jews. Now, this the look of the movie first kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't sure if I was going to get a documentary or an actual fictionalized movie. It has a kind of strange lighting and color grading on certain scenes where it looks a little bit more like amateurish footage. Some of the moments look darn right hilarious because this is apparently a comedy. It's whether or not the comedy translates or not, but I did like the look of this one, but it's not something I would jump out to get. It's nice that they include an introduction by the director, a short film by the director. It's got a booklet essay as well, which seems to be something familiar to the partner labels. And yeah, interesting enough, but again, not one that I'm going to jump onto. Next up, we have got Quiet City and Dance Party USA from Circle Collective, two movies directed by Aaron Katz that came out in 2006, 2007. I won't jump into these. They look kind of similar in tone, looking at the blobs. Looking at the trailers as well, they're kind of similarly shot. They kind of follow a period of time with a couple of people connecting, interacting, getting to know each other. It looks really kind of fascinating, almost like a little bit before sunrise type of feeling to it, but through the kind of more indie lens than that. These are something that I'm going to consider. I like the idea of them, and being able to get them for $17 makes me really curious, and they do seem to have a really good reputation about these films, so they are interesting for me anyway. The Region A Blu-ray, No Grasp in Reality, New Conversations Between Director and David Lowry, recorded in 2021. So Much Sheer Will, New Conversation with Chris Ray, Aaron Katz, and the cast of Dance Party USA, again recorded in 2021. In the Love with the Process, New Conversation with Barry Jenkins, Aaron Katz, and the cast of Quiet City, recorded in 2021. Quiet City New York premiere introduction and Q&A, Dance Party trailer, Quiet City trailer, and new booklet essay by critic author Amy Tobin. This is a definite maybe on my list. It just seems to tick a lot of the things that I quite like. So next up, we've got Red Spirit Lake and We Await from Saturn's Core, shot on video horror movies, directed by Charles Pignon. And these look very odd. Now, I know very little about these ones. Trying to find things online are really weird. The concepts or the stories sound great, but I mean, most do in a synopsis. Looking at the trailers, they look very weird and abstract and unusual, which isn't a bad thing. I won't go into the plots of these ones. It's a region-free Blu-ray, brand new restorations from the original master tapes, supervised by the director, 2 audio commentaries by the director, Red Reasons to Live, interview with director on Red Spirit Lake, another interview with the director on We Await, dissection of a shot, raw footage featurettes, original excerpt from We Await, making of featurette for Spirit Drive document, Madball, a 16mm short by the director, making of Madball, Try Again, another short, Video Pharmacy, exclusive deleted scenes and outtakes, music video, the director's trailer reel, blood video, 28-page booklet designed by Matt Disterio of Horror Boobs, featuring a career-spanning interview with Charles Pinion, conducted by Mick Hutchback. This is something that seems like super cult. It seems like something that a lot of people are going to know more about than I do. I would love to know a little bit more about this before I even consider picking it up. So if you have any knowledge on these movies, please let me know. Next up, we've got 2 movie pack from Decanologue, which is 2 lottery tickets and a month in Thailand. So, 2 very different looking movies. You can find the trailers for both on YouTube, which I checked out. One that I was interested in is 2 lottery tickets, where you've got 3 small town people who win the jackpot in the lottery, only to discover that their ticket was stolen from them, and they then go on a pilgrimage to try and find out the robbers and get back their winning lottery tickets so they can live their life in lavish style. The second movie, A Month in Thailand, kind of follows a sad sack hero's misadventures on New Year's Eve as he kind of moves through the world, finding love, and just dealing with longing, regret, and indecisiveness. 2 very different movies, both by the same director, Paul Negoscu, and these both look very interesting. But 2 lottery tickets looks the more accessible of the movies, but A Month in Thailand looks like the more rewarding of the films. It's a 2-disc Region A Blu-ray set, English subtitles for both. It's got a short film, Monica Comes Back, introductions by the filmmaker, theatrical trailers, booklet essays, audio commentary on A Month in Thailand as well, a couple more short films, Horizon and Derby, and video introductions by the filmmaker for those as well. I'm tempted by this one, just because of the sheer slapsticky nature of the 2 lottery tickets movie, which looks like something that's very different, very kind of fun. Again, let me know. And finally, from Gunpowder and Sky, I'm still waiting on Rocksteady Row to come out from Gunpowder and Sky, which they need to release soon. But this is Tragedy Girls, which is a really great modern slasher movie. I love this one. I'm going to pick this one up because I think it's a great film, and I've been looking for a Blu-ray for it for a while. Best friends Sadie and Michaela are on a mission to boost their social media fandom as amateur crime reporters, hot on the trail of a deranged local serial killer. After they manage to capture the killer and secretly hold him hostage, they realise the best way is to get scoops on future victims would be to, murder the people themselves. As the Tragedy Girls become an overnight sensation and panic grips their small town, can their friendship survive the strain of national stardom? Terrific movie. I really enjoy Tragedy Girls. I feel it's kind of a modern adaptation of a slasher, bringing it into sort of recent times, adding in social media, but in a kind of interesting way that's kind of commenting on that itself. And it's got some great action set pieces. This is a Region A Blu-ray interview with co-writer Tyler McIntyre, interview with co-writer Chris Lee, never before seen behind-the-scenes footage, commentary with director Tyler McIntyre and Chris Lee, new commentary with Kat Ellinger, Lindsay Hallam and Miranda Corcoran, Q&A, Screamfest, red carpet interviews, behind the scenes, 2 behind the scenes of Tragedy Girls, movie magic, raw footage versus finished sequences. That could be quite interesting. Conversation with the director, green band and red band trailers, storyboards for 8 sequences, gallery of costumes and mask sketches, gallery of behind the scenes SFX stills, and English subtitles. That's the one for me. We're going to finish on a title I'm definitely picking up. For me, this time I'll get the package. I'll probably get the VSA, the Fun City editions, Billet, and Tragedy Girls are my pick. And one last question for people in the know: The Girlfriend from Hell, which was released in January. Is that one worth picking up? Because I'm really kind of fancying that movie. I'd love to know your thoughts, as always, on this mega amount of releases. Is there anything that you find interesting, or is it just a bunch of movies that you're willing to forget and never think of ever again? As always, let me know what you're picking up, because I'm just super nosy, pretty much. I just nosy. That's basically the way it is. As always, there's more content somewhere up here. You can see more of my stuff. And as always, click the like button if you like these kind of videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. And I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.